Welcome, dear listener, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a fascinating trip back, way back to ancient Greece.
Yeah, but not just for, a dry history lesson.
No, definitely not. We're here to uncover some really practical wisdom, stuff you can actually use today. We're diving into the legendary Golden Verses of Pythagoras.
That's right. And for anyone who knows them, the Golden Verses are, well, they're a unique moral code. Someone called them a recipe for day-to-day living, which I think is pretty apt. And today we're just tackling the first part, verses 1 through 24. There are 72 sentences total, so we figured breaking it down makes sense.
Yeah, it makes it more digestible, hopefully more impactful for you too.
Exactly.
What's really incredible, though, is how little actual historical evidence we have for Pythagoras himself. I mean, some people even wonder if he was, entirely real.
Right, especially since his famous School of Crotona was tragically burned down. That lost a lot of potential records.
But his legacy, and especially these verses, they've lasted for millennia. Plato himself apparently paid a fortune for a manuscript. Just imagine.
Indeed. And these specific golden verses, the ones we have, are thought to have been written down by a disciple, Lysis, who actually escaped that fire.
Wow.
It just shows their power, doesn't it? Pythagoras wasn't just some abstract thinker. He created a code that his followers lived by that was enforced. And, well, it worked.
So our mission today is basically to pull out the key nuggets of wisdom from these ancient lines, give you a shortcut maybe to being well-informed.
And hopefully have a bit of fun along the way, some surprising facts, perhaps.
Let's do it. Let's unpack this deep dive into the very practical and profound wisdom of Pythagoras.
Right.
So just to set the scene a bit, let's quickly sketch out Pythagoras' life, or what little we think we know. Born in Samos around 570 BC, give or take.
Right, a pre-Socratic philosopher. So before Socrates focused more on maybe the cosmos, nature's principles, he even influenced guys like Thales of Miletus, who came earlier.
And his travels? Sounds like he really got around.
Oh, absolutely. Fled tyranny in Samos, went to Egypt, then later fled the Persians, ended up in Babylon, Persia.
And wasn't there talk of India?
Yes, some sources suggest that. There are actually Indian writings that mention a Yavanacharya, which means the Ionian master.
Huh, interesting.
And this wide travel, this exposure, it clearly shaped his knowledge. I mean, from the Pythagorean theorem we all learned in school,
right,
to the system of musical notation we still use. It's incredibly broad.
And he actually coined the words philosophy and mathematics, is that right?
That's what he's credited with, yeah. The love of wisdom and the study of quantities.
Amazing.
So after traveling, he came back to Samos, started a school called the Semicircle, but eventually he settled in Crotona, southern Italy.
And that's where he set up the Pythagorean Museum.
Right. But museum is maybe misleading. It wasn't just a place for learning. It was almost like a monastic system. Very strict discipline. Disciples lived by this moral code we're discussing, the Golden Verses. They even kept daily diaries, to check if they were living up to their ideals.
Wow. Keeping yourself honest. And getting in wasn't easy, was it?
Not at all. The entrance exam supposedly tested your honesty, your coherence. Lots of people got rejected.
Including someone important.
Yeah, Cylon, son of a powerful politician. Apparently, he got rejected, his ego was bruised, and he basically started a smear campaign.
Oh boy.
Called Pythagoras a sorcerer, blamed him for eclipses, that kind of thing. And sadly, that slander, that resentment, seems to be what led to the school being burned down.
And Pythagoras' death.
That's the tragic end of the story, yes. But the teaching survived. As we said, Lysis preserved the Golden Verses.
And they got translated into Latin later.
By Heraclius of Alexandria, yeah. Which helped ensure they reached us today.
So these Golden Verses, the name itself is intriguing. It's not about actual gold, is it?
No, not at all. It's an alchemical idea, transforming men of lead into men of gold. Like the Philosopher's Stone, right? The gold here means wisdom, incorruptibility. Just like real gold doesn't change or corrode easily.
I see.
A golden man is someone who stays true to their principles, who isn't corrupted by, external stuff. They're independent.
That makes sense. And then there's the oath. This is pretty stunning.
It really is. He swore these verses would work, took a formal oath in the name of the sacred quaternary, which was a super important symbol for him, representing cosmic order.
Okay.
And basically said, look, if you actually do this stuff, it will work.
That's quite a guarantee. From someone like Pythagoras. Yeah, that carries weight. So let's get into the verses themselves. The first section seems to be all about honor, commitment.
Exactly. He starts right off, Honor first the immortal gods as the law dictates.
Okay, but why? Do the gods need our honor?
No, that's the key point. They don't need it. It's for your benefit. It's a way to remind yourself of divine qualities, justice, wisdom, goodness, and then define them, cultivate them within yourself.
So it's about internal alignment, not external worship necessarily. That reminds me of Apollonius of Tyana, who apparently walked into a temple and shouted, "Stop washing your altars in blood. The only sacrifice the gods want is your animal self sacrificed on the altar of wisdom."
Precisely. It's about your evolution. True connection isn't about rituals alone, it's about affinity. Recognizing and living those divine attributes yourself. If you're honorable, you're connecting to the divine aspect of honor.
Okay, that reframes it completely. And then the next line, "Bow to the oath you took," follows perfectly.
It does, and this is so relevant today, isn't it? In an age where people sometimes seem, well, almost allergic to commitment.
Yeah, the horror of commitment, as our source put it.
For Pythagoras, an oath is like, imagine you're climbing a mountain. It's your safety rope with a hook.
Okay.
When your everyday personality, your lower self, wants to quit, or when your psyche just falters and falls, that commitment, sworn before whatever is most sacred to you, that's the rope that catches you, holds you up.
Like Carl Jung saying love, his commitment to humanity, his patience brought him back from deep dives into the unconscious. That was his rope.
Exactly that kind of principle. So for you listening, it means finding that unshakable inner commitment. Maybe it's swearing before the memory of a parent you knew was fair, or some deep principle you hold, something that grounds you even if everything around you seems corrupt.
Your personal anchor. Then he says, honor the illustrious heroes full of goodness and light.
Right, and Plato talked about this too, how society needs heroes.
Because they're relatable, maybe. Unlike gods who can seem distant.
Exactly. Heroes show us what's humanly possible. Think about that Spanish father after the attack, hugging the imam, saying he wanted to fight hate.
Powerful. Or Mandela forgiving his jailers after 26 years.
Yes. These aren't perfect people, maybe, but they took a leap. They show us how high, as the source says, humanity can reach. They inspire us.
And then pay homage to the earthly spirits and show them due respect. That sounds a bit different, maybe more Eastern.
It does have that feel. Very Pythagorean, though. This idea that everything in nature have some kind of life, some spirit. Pantheism, almost.
Which is such a contrast to how we often treat things today, isn't it? Like disposable crap.
Totally. We heard about that finance professor who said how you treat your possessions, even small things, actually reflects your financial health, your inner balance, respecting the spirit in things.
Seeing the sacred everywhere. Interesting. And finally, in this section, honor your parents and all members of your family. Seems straightforward.
It seems obvious, but the way Pythagoras likely meant, it challenges some modern thinking, maybe even some self-help ideas.
How so?
It's about not seeing your family as like a private pension plan.
Huh. Loving them only because you might need them later.
Exactly. It ties back to recognizing the divine or the inherent worth in others for who they are, not for what they can do for you.
Like that Sufi prayer from Rabia Davia.
Yes. If I seek you for heaven, cast me out. If I seek you out of fear of hell, burn me there. But if I seek you only for what you are,
receive me. It's about pure intention.
Pure intention. Recognizing their intrinsic value. The Tibetans say hidden selfishness is the root of all problems. This verse really gets at that.
Okay, so we've grounded ourselves in honor, oaths, family. Now Pythagoras moves to friendships, the relationships we choose.
And his advice here is really potent. Choose friends who are the wisest and most virtuous.
Sounds a bit calculating.
Not really. It's not about using them. Xenophon quotes Socrates saying, "Go, my boy, go after virtuous hearts." The idea is you form friendships around a kind of unspoken pact, a silent agreement to grow together.
Okay, so it's about mutual upliftment.
Right. A true friend is there to help you go up. They'll help you if you slip. But the implication is if you choose to go down, well, you go down alone. They won't follow you into negativity.
That requires seeing both sides of a friend, doesn't it?
Definitely. Your friend has light and shadow, like everyone.
Yeah.
When their shadow side acts up, maybe like a tantrum child inside them, you don't engage with that. You speak to the virtuous friend you know is still there.
You appeal to their higher self.
Exactly. You give that part strength to overcome the inner conflict.
Which leads right into the next verse. Do not drive your friend away for a small mistake, because power is limited by necessity. What does that mean? Power is limited by necessity.
It means understanding everyone has limits. We're not all powerful. Sometimes a strong necessity, like maybe overwhelming grief or a sudden passion, can temporarily weaken a person's power to act virtuously.
Ah, so you cut them some slack, understanding they might be overwhelmed by something bigger than their usual self-control at that moment.
Precisely. True friendship, for Pythagoras, is a pact between what we have best. It's not about being complicit in each other's flaws, like, corrupt buddies covering for each other or friends who just gossip together.
Got it. It's an alliance of virtues. Now, what about integrity towards ourselves? He says, do not do together with others or alone what makes you ashamed.
This is huge. So it's self-respect, pure and simple. The standard is, if you wouldn't do it with someone watching, don't do it when you're alone either.
Like that Zen story.
Yeah, the master tells disciples to steal something, but only if no one sees them. One disciple comes back empty-handed.
Why?
He says, Master, I couldn't do it. I'm watching myself all the time.
That's powerful. It's about knowing there's something inside you that deserves respect. Respicer, to look back at oneself.
Exactly. If you don't have that, you just become a character, someone playing a role based on what you think other people want to see. You lose your core.
So it's connected to modesty versus shame.
Very much so. Shame is generally seen as negative, like being too embarrassed to function. But modesty, in this context, is positive. It's recognizing your own faults, working on them privately, and striving to offer the best version of yourself to the world, not, pridely airing your dirty laundry or your trash can.
Right. And underpinning all this is practice justice with your actions and with your words. Coherence.
Absolute coherence. Socrates in Plato's Gorgias basically says to Callicles, look, if you convince me you're right about how to live, you'll find me out on the street tomorrow living exactly that way.
Walk the talk.
Walk the talk. Thought, word, and deed all aligned. If there's that internal conflict, you fragment yourself. You become, in a sense, nobody.
This naturally leads into dealing with our passions, doesn't it? The inner conflicts.
It does. Pythagoras uses the image of the centaur, half human, half horse.
Okay.
The human part, reason, has to rule the horse part, the animal passions. The animal isn't bad in itself, it's powerful energy, but it has to serve the human, not the other way around.
Otherwise, it's like the rider carrying the horse.
Exactly. Being enslaved by your passions is like carrying the horse on your back.
Yeah.
Ridiculous and exhausting.
And he calls out specific passions.
Yeah, gluttony, laziness, lust, anger, the usual suspects. He says when these rise to your head, the animal takes over, reason gets drowned out.
So what's the main advice here?
The most repeated advice really throughout the verses is establish the habit of never acting thoughtlessly.
Pause before acting.
Yes. Consciously curb the impulse. Take that split second to check if the action aligns with your principles, your reason. Don't just react.
That sounds like Plato's idea of courage, too.
It's very related. For Plato, courage wasn't just physical bravery. It was maintaining the rule of reason, even when you're feeling strong emotions. Fear, desire, pain, pleasure.
Like in a fire, courage isn't just running in. It's not panicking and trampling people to get out.
Keeping your head.
Exactly. Maintaining that rational control. And Aristotle even warned that desire can sometimes be worse than fear.
Worse? How?
Because fear feels like an enemy, but desire often feels like an ally. It promises pleasure, satisfaction. But if it makes you compromise your principles, it can be just as destructive, maybe even more insidious.
That's a sobering thought. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. The verses also tackle heavier themes, death, suffering.
Yes, very important. He reminds us, quite plainly, death will come to everyone, no exceptions.
And also that the good things of the world are uncertain, easy come, easy go.
Right. As they can be won, so they can be lost. Possessions, fame, status, it's all temporary. So what's the takeaway for you, the listener? It seems Pythagoras is saying the only things that are truly yours, the only things that can't be taken away by fate or fortune, are your inner qualities.
Your justice, your honesty, your capacity for fraternity, your wisdom. Those become the solid foundation for your conscience, your true self, unlike the shifting sands of worldly success.
That makes me think of Elizabeth Kubler-Ross's work.
With the terminally ill, yes. She observed that people with genuine spiritual values, that inner foundation, often remain lucid and composed right until the end.
Whereas others, without that inner rug of meaning, kind of lost their grip when facing death.
It ties into that idea from Sri Ram too, building your boat of consciousness, a deeply understood, lived truth that your consciousness can, metaphorically, sail for eternity on.
Okay, so facing mortality leads to valuing the eternal within. Then he says, bear with patience and without murmur your part of the sufferings that destiny casts on human beings. That sounds a bit passive.
It can sound that way, but we need to understand destiny and gods here. It links directly to karma, cause and effect, which Pythagoras saw pretty much the same way as ancient Indian philosophy did.
So it's not random suffering from angry gods.
Got it all. The gods here are more like the divine laws governing the universe. Karma, for Pythagoras, wasn't punishment. It was educational, pedagogical.
Meaning?
Meaning, if you have a flaw, like selfishness, life doesn't punish you arbitrarily. It gives you a situation, and maybe a difficult one, that provides the opportunity to see that flaw and correct it. It's designed to help you learn and grow.
So it challenges that passive, oh, well, it's my karma excuse.
Absolutely, because if someone falls off a ladder in front of you, yes, maybe it's their karma to fall. But it's your karma, your cause and effect reality, that you are there and able to help. Inaction is also an action with consequences.
Right, it's about your response.
Think of Christ driving the merchants from the temple, not passive acceptance of desecration. It was tough love, action taken without hate, in a language they did understand, aimed at correction, at regeneration. Hate just destroys.
Okay, so karma is educational, not punitive. But he also says, try to ease your pain as much as possible. So it's not just grin and bear it.
Definitely not. Pain is a signal.
Yeah.
It's educational. You have to learn what it's trying to teach you so you can move past it. Don't just wallow in it like a victim.
Like Michel Econique said, if you went in through the drain, out through the drain, and out quickly. Learn the lesson and move on.
Exactly. Extract the learning, don't stay stuck in the suffering.
And finally, in this section, fate does not send many misfortunes to good people. That sounds almost like a promise of an easy life if you're good.
I don't think it's quite that simple. It's not that good people avoid difficulty. Often, they actively take on suffering. Think of Buddha wanting to free all beings from pain. The difference is perspective. A truly virtuous person doesn't see challenges as misfortunes in the same way. They see them as opportunities. Opportunities to practice virtue, to learn, to serve, to grow stronger. The event itself might be hard, but their interpretation of it is different.
So it's less about what happens and more about how you frame it and respond to it.
Precisely. It's an internal shift.
Right. We're nearing the end of this first batch of verses. The last few pieces of advice are about navigating opinions and maintaining integrity. Timeless stuff.
Absolutely. He says, what people think and say varies greatly. Now it's a good thing, then it's a bad thing. Therefore, do not blindly accept what you hear, nor hastily reject it.
Don't just jump on the bandwagon, basically.
Okay, and don't just dismiss things out of hand either. It's a call against mental laziness, what one source called the sloth's grandmother.
I like that. Just wanting the easy answer, the prepackaged opinion.
Exactly. You have to do the work. Analyze the situation yourself. Apply your own principles. Arrive at your own conclusion. Because people aren't always consistent, not even good friends. You have to think for yourself every time.
Like Buddha giving different answers about God depending on the student.
Perfect example. It wasn't about inconsistency. It was about tailoring the teaching to the individual's need and understanding in that moment. It requires discernment.
And the final piece of advice for today. If falsehoods are spoken, back off gently and arm yourself with patience.
Notice he doesn't say jump in and start a fight or give a lecture.
No, back off gently. What does that look like?
It means simply not aligning yourself with the falsehood, with the injustice. You don't have to make a big scene. Sometimes your quiet withdrawal, your refusal to participate, your very presence grounded in integrity is enough.
It can change the energy in the room.
It absolutely can. Think about it. People often stop gossiping when a certain type of person walks in, right? Not because that person told them off, but because their integrity just doesn't vibe with it. It breaks the mood.
So it's about being that person of integrity, choosing what you stand for, what you'll be known for.
Exactly. Because when things get serious, when someone really needs help or solid advice, they don't look for their gossiping buddy or their happy hour partner.
No, they look for the person they trust, the person with integrity.
That's the person you aim to be.
Wow. What an incredible first dive into these verses. They seem so simple on the surface, but as we've unpacked them, incredibly dense.
They really are. Simple to read, maybe, but profound to actually live. It's a practical guide, virtue, self-mastery, connection.
And Pythagoras himself swore they'd work, that they lead to good.
That guarantee always strikes me.
We did have a listener question come in about verse 19, the sufferings that destiny determined by the gods casts on human beings. It felt a bit arbitrary, maybe even unfair to them.
Yes, that's a really common and understandable point of confusion. The key is how the ancient Greeks, especially thinkers like Pythagoras understood gods.
It wasn't necessarily like Zeus throwing lightning bolts randomly.
Well, not in this philosophical context, no. Often, laws are gods. So when it says determined by the gods, think determined by the divine laws of the universe, specifically the law of cause and effect, karma.
So destiny isn't arbitrary punishment from a moody deity.
Exactly. It's the working out of universal law, which Pythagoras saw as fundamentally educational, pedagogical. It's designed to teach, not to punish capriciously. It's like an arm of divine order guiding things towards balance and learning.
That clarifies it nicely. So as we wrap up this first part, maybe a final thought for you, our listener.
Yeah.
In this world that feels like it's constantly changing, full of uncertainty, what is your boat built on? What are those deeply understood, truly lived principles that you're prepared to carry with you no matter what life throws your way? What's your inner gold?
That's a deep one to ponder. We really hope this exploration of the first part of the Golden Verses has given you some valuable food for thought. And do join us next time as we dive into the next section.
Thank you so much for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and yeah, keep shining that inner gold.